Hey YouTube, welcome back. So today I thought we'd talk about a few things. First of all, thank you all for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. Second thing is that the podcasts are up. I'm really excited about that, so I hope you're tuning in. Thanks for working with me and bearing with me as I start to kind of learn the ropes and get used to videotaping and video editing and podcasting editing. So I've had a little rough draft, a few bumps along the way. So just thank you for bearing with me, and hopefully it will continue to get better. So if it's a little grainy at first, or if the sounds are a little garbled and everything like that, this is me learning, and I'm learning a lot of times from my YouTube friends and family as well. There's tons of resources here on YouTube, so if you're not taking advantage, you definitely should be, because that's how I'm learning as well, and I'm just loving every minute of it. So I'm so appreciative, and I hope you all are taking advantage of that too. So shout out to all the technical people and all of the people who've been helping me out, and just even little bits and pointers in terms of just learning how to edit and do different things. It's just been wonderful and a fascinating journey. So I'm really happy about that. Now, with that being said, the other thing is that we are now Chat Sessions with V. Now, why did I change the name from Les Chat Sessions? Technically, I didn't. If you look down, the name is still going to be Les Chat Sessions. I may change it in the long run, so it's a little of both. It's Les Chat Sessions and it's Chat Sessions with V. And I just thought that that was kind of helpful. If you notice, the logo is still going to be kind of the red, the black, and the green, along with the peace sign of the rainbow, which is really important because it's kind of a representation of a little all of who I am, and so I thought that it would just kind of be helpful to continue to talk to a broad audience, because I find, as I said, it's not kind of a new normal for me to be a black woman lesbian. It's just my normal, and I find that a lot of my conversations have just been regular conversations. So then me thinking that, and also having, as most of us LGBT experience, we just have so many heterosexual people in our lives, our loved ones, our friends, along with us in our community of LGBTQ people as well. So it's just everybody's in the mix, and everybody's getting involved, and I'm getting support coming from every area. So I just really appreciate that, and it made me think, in terms of especially giving advice to people, that, as I said, it's open to all. So Chat Sessions with V is what it's called, and I'm glad you're here, and I thank so much for the subscriptions. Just continue to like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. And today I thought that I would also start with a challenge, a 12-week challenge, which is 3 days, or 3 months, or 90 days, or 12 weeks, however you want to look at it, in terms of some coaching, some life coaching, some us getting together and uniting in terms of helping each other and how we relate to things. And I just thought that I would try that for a number of reasons. Well, first of all, because today I'm going to end up talking about bullying, if I get to it, and I will. But it also made me think that bullying is the topic. And bullying comes in so many forms. The one that we usually know, especially with regards to LGBT, is, maybe bullying because of sexual orientation, but there's also just a tremendous amount of bullying just going on in general in schools. But what the funny thing is that it's not a lot of times just the children that are being bullied. Sometimes it's the adults that get bullied as well. Adults who get bullied by other adults in the workplace. We may get bullied in our families. It may be various reasons why we are getting bullied, and just something to talk about and something to think about. One of the things that I did was that I'm going to leave 2 videos of bullies kind of getting what they deserve in the link. So before you kind of watch everything else I'm going to say about this bullying thing, pause, go look at these 2 videos, and then come back. I'm going to let you do that right now. Go. Okay, are you back? All right, good. Now, if you saw those 2 videos, they're the 2 videos. One is a video of a boy being bullied, and the boy's name is Casey, who is being bullied, and the bully's name is Nick, if I'm correct. And Nick is the little smaller, scrawny bully, and he's messing with the much bigger, who doesn't want to fight him initially, Casey. and Casey basically has to defend himself. As I said, hopefully you paused it and you saw that Casey had to defend himself, and Casey put a hurting on Nick. Now, my second disclaimer, which will be here here in the description, here is a disclaimer. So go, anybody 18 and under, go talk to your parents. You don't have to listen to me. But I am from the school of the hood. So what that means is sometimes you have to send bullies a message. And in these two videos, that's kind of where that's why I chose these two videos. Because not all bullies are equal. Some bullies will just go away. Let's just be truthful. A lot of times people are bullying you because they're hoping that they don't get bullied themselves. So they'd rather go along with the crowd and be part of the bulliers as opposed to being bullied. So that's what happens sometimes. And because of that, a lot of times you can just stand up to them, and that's the end of your bullying. You don't have to worry about them anymore as soon as you take a stand. And that's my suggestion, because I know people get on here and they'll do the all, and I'm not that video. They do the all, well, Billy, or well, Sally, you just need to be nice and kill him with kindness. And no, this is not that video. So pause and go to the other videos for that. This is the video of sometimes you have to send your bullies a message. Now, I'm not a fighter. I can't be a fighter as an adult the way you used to be a fighter when you were a kid. When I was a kid, and I shouldn't say I wasn't a fighter. I was a fighter when you could fight with these. But anyway, you can't do that these days anyway, because people want to fight with knives and guns and, you know, whatever punk kind of way, because that's how people do these days. You know, they want to do these types of things, and nobody can't take a whooping or give a whooping. Ass whooping. I'm not going to be using profanity much, but I will in this case. And that just be the end of it. You know, when I was growing up, that was it for the most part. You won some, you lost some, and that was it. But these days, people want to retaliate. People want to come back to school and wherever with guns and, you know, whatever the worst case scenario. Sometimes we do more suffering in our heads before anything even happens, you know, because the fear is so great in our hearts. And we have to kind of get past that. So that being said, one of the things that happened here is that Casey and Nick is the bully. Nick punched Casey in the face. Casey let him do that much, you know, and it could have been, it at least could have ended there. A little short, scrawny Nick could have just walked away, got his little punch in the face and left it at that. But no, he wanted to keep going, and Nick had to slam, and Casey had to slam him, and he deserved to get slammed. So a lot of, if you go into the link, I think the original link has gotten like 24 million hits. And of course, for the most part, people are just like the little scrawny runt got what he deserved. Now, I'm not necessarily an advocate for those types of things. But as I said, sometimes when you are dealing with bullies, you got to act fast. You got to act hard. And you got to send them a message and let them know that you are not the one. So that's what this is about. They're letting people know that you are not the one to be bullied, and that so that they can move on to whomever else. Hopefully these bullies will stop. But if they don't stop, you need to be prepared to handle it and let them know that you are not going to be the one to be bullied. I kind of keep hearing all of these different, you know, public service messages or whatever, and I get it. People should be telling people, you know, look, we should all get along and all these types of things. But when you're being tortured day in, day out, month in and month out, year in and year out by bullies, sometimes it becomes a point where you have to take a stand. You have to, your fear can't be greater, where especially these days with people taking their lives and, you know, being so tortured. You know, the truth of the matter is, if you are brave enough to kill yourself, you know, you are brave enough to take on a bully, because it takes a lot more bravery to decide not to be here. And that's what we don't want to happen. So that being said, the other person on the video was Jade, and Jade was the bully, and they don't have the other girl's name mentioned, but she got her butt kicked. Jade got her butt kicked by the girl as well. And Jade knew she was overmatched from the very beginning, but she kept going because she had a bunch of girls behind her, you know, egging her on, and she just got whooped badly. So the moral to that story is, Don't mess with people. You were in a fight that you shouldn't have been in, and she comes back like 2 or 3 times and gets whooped. That's just what makes it even worse. So my thing is, in terms of bullies, sometimes you need to send them a message. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean, especially these days where people go out and get guns and knives and come back and hurt and kill. That's why I had my disclaimer. But you do need to stand up for yourself. You do need to send people a message that they need to move on from you. And then you have to be creative about whatever way that's going to be. But the point here is to send people a message that you are not going to be bullied. Now, if you want to try to take it the nice civil way and go to an adult, again, my disclaimer, here's my script for an adult. For you to say to an adult, look, I need help. I know you are in a sea of 1,000 kids, but I'm in crisis. These people are bothering me. You all need to handle it as adult, or things are going to get really bad for somebody. And I am screaming for help right now. Write it down on paper. Make 10 copies of it. Post it up on every adult you can talk, you know, around your school who's in you know, who can see it, so that you can go to those adults and they can let them know that you need help and that they should not ignore your cries for help. Because it's true these days. You know, one child is like 1,000, because there's so many children that a lot of times the adults just are not paying attention. So you come and say, Miss Williams, Mike hit me, and Miss Williams is just like, Mike, don't hit him, and then goes on to the next thing. And that's not taking away your pain. That is not taking away your hurt. Everything you're going through is not being acknowledged, because people are just overwhelmed, including the teachers, and it's hard to understand. So you need to, in a way, shout from the rooftops. And you think that you can't talk to adults, but we've all been there as adults. If you're a child or someone under 18, so this is the way you need to handle it. Now, if you're an adult dealing with a bully, again, you need to let that bully know that you are not the one to mess with. And sometimes you have to kind of be creative. We are in the age of technology. Google something, you know. As much as I'm not exactly a fan of just stopping at Google if you're doing research, Google some ideas. And I'm not talking about dangerous, illegal, you know, ideas, anything that will get you a misdemeanor or a felony charge. But there are creative ways you can come up with to confront your bullies, and people have already done it. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. There are 1,000 ideas out there. So I would encourage you to look it up, find something that you can do that will confront this bully and stop it, because that's what you need to do. So I am Miss Tough Love today. I'm saying, you know, deal with your bully situation so that you don't have to deal with it anymore. That's my thing. I know there's 100 other videos out there right now where people are talking softer and they're saying that it gets better. And it's true. It does get better. Years from now, you won't even remember those bullies, and they will probably be pumping your gas and you know, handing you your dry cleaning. But for now, we have to deal with them, and you know, we need something to happen now. So let's do that. So that's all I have to say about the bullying thing. But with that, as I said, this is going to be a 12-week challenge, and this is me. The way I'm talking is probably be a little tough love, but we're going to be helping each other. I would love to hear some comments about what you would do in terms of any situation, and thinking about that in terms of how we bully ourselves in our mind with the worst case scenario, and that we don't do anything sometimes because we're afraid. So if we're bullying ourselves in our mind, sometimes we're worse than any bully we could have. So what's your thought about it? I'd like to hear, and I thank you for listening. Subscribe. The podcast is up now, so let's listen to the podcast and keep in touch. And like this video, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.